Hey, what's up? What's up? What's up, everybody? This is the Reluctant Nabi back again. All right, for those of you that showed up right now, One Loyal King. It's funny how this thing always starts off. Now I know I set that up not to do that. Um, what's up, Texas Marine? What's going down, bro? I gotta make sure I'm on the right thing. All right, there we go. All right, let's see who else popped up in here. So this is the Reluctant Nabi. I'm here with Tone 202. Check out his channel, Tone 202. On this, I had made this title. Y'all know that I put this up, but I ran across something that Tone 202 was talking about on his channel and his videos, and it tied in with this. And his video was called let me go back to that.
Black women are dying.
Yeah, black women are dying.
And black women are being killed is what it said.
Yeah. Okay, they're being killed, then they die.
Yeah.
No. But they are, on a serious note, black women are being taken out. And I don't mean to dinner either.
Yeah,
right?
No. Not being killed.
And they are being unalived, and they're being unalived in a serious way. Okay, I see more people came in. So, hey, what's up, Antonio Johnson? All right. So let me greet everybody real quick. Geboren Hardu Dog, all the way to the vein. Vastas los, bonjour, mes amis, quel bawani konnichiwa. Nia ma, sade konani, jambo habagani. Assalamu alaikum and shalom. Kamusta ka, kamusta po kayo, talafa lava soy fua. Okay. So basically, a lot of the BAWs are not understanding the assignment, or they're understanding the wrong assignment. Okay, they're understanding the wrong assignment, right? And so I was listening to my brother up here. That's Tone 202, right? TON 202. All right, that's his channel. And so I was listening to him as he was talking about this, right? And so y'all seen the numbers from me, and this is going to be kind of an open forum as well. And so I'm gonna begin this by saying this, that I had put out information about Gloria Steinem. All right. One of the things, I don't know if y'all remember, but Gloria Steinem, she did not take credit for starting the third wave feminist. Said it was the black women, basically the ones coming from the teachings of the Black Panthers, that taught her. Now, we also know that every uprising that we've ever had that was going to be successful, they was always able to find one of us to betray just Afro people in general. And all they needed was one or two in key places. All right. And so understand this. We've had a hard time getting things done, accomplishing things, because there are so many people that Caucasians could go to betray them is ridiculous. One of the things that I can really say, and you see this, it is rare. You see Caucasians don't like something, right? They may fight against something, right? They may be a spy or a double agent, but you'll be hard pressed to find many of them who will become traitors. All right. And like I said, if you look at all the movies that they make, look at the movies that the Caucasian people make. The traitor gets used, and in the end, he dies with he died. The villain kills him. Look in the movies. The villain usually kills the traitor after he's done using them. I want what's coming to me. All right. And so when I say this, we have the videos of so many BAWs betraying the community and Afro men in particular, right? Saying that, oh, we don't need no man. We don't need the man, right? And they're like, oh, we got us a Caucasian man because he's better than the Afro man, because he said the Afro man said some bad words, but the Caucasian man committed genocide. But we're okay with genocide. But dudes start walking away, and so I'm gonna let Brother Tone 202 take care of this, because when he made this, he made some valid points. Go ahead, Tone 202.
Well, it was almost a 3-hour video, so I don't recall all of what I said, but I was talking about the different stories that you see on YouTube, that you hear around certain circles, and the ones that I was talking about that were on YouTube, you can actually fact check them, because a lot of stuff you hear on the internet, you're like, well, you can actually look up somebody and see if they died. And it'll have, okay, this person died at this place and this is where they're buried. So, it's really happening. Now, what I've noticed
what's the name of your video, first of all, real quick, again?
I think Black women are being killed. I'll have to leave you a link in the description or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. The link to that video will be in the description box.
Yeah. But basically, I was talking about some current cases where Lauren Smith Fields is one of them. She was 24 years old, dark-skinned, a beautiful woman who was on Bumble, and she decided to contact somebody on there, which ended up being a 36-year-old white man. And I don't know if you guys heard the story or not, but I'm just going to... Yeah, well, for those of you who haven't heard the story, she ended up unalive. And it's the way they treated the case that made me start looking at other cases and going, well, wait a minute. This same thing just happened to another woman in the same city. And the detectives did pretty much the same thing. They did not contact the family members. The family members had to learn from somebody who was cleaning up the mess that, yeah, your daughter is dead.
Really?
Yeah. The police
That's what we didn't know.
Yeah, the police did not tell the family members that their daughter was dead. They did not. They didn't even want to investigate it. Now, the two investigators that were on the case, both of them are now under investigation, because they realized that these guys didn't do anything that was protocol. There's certain things you do. You contact the family. When they went into the room where she was, when the family got there, the police and the detectives were already there. So all of the evidence was still there. The condom was still there. The bloody sheets was still there. The garbage was still there. Anything that was worth anything as far as investigation goes, forensics, was still all there. And the family just couldn't believe it. The family is the ones who cleaned up the woman's place. They're the ones who started presenting evidence to the police. They're like, well, what about this? What about this? What about this? Usually, you would have, some people come in, and look at the whole thing from police department, look in investigative and forensic, and no, none of that. It was just like, yeah, she died. And then they told the family, yeah, the guy who was with her was a really nice guy. He's not a suspect. He's the only suspect. So when I start looking at just how nonchalant they were, I'm like, this is not an isolated case. The police didn't just make this up. They didn't just say, we're just not going to, No, so I start looking at other cases, and then I start looking at, when I start looking at those other cases, I start looking at how many Black people or Black females were dying. And then I noticed that a lot of them are dying because they're either putting themselves in bad situations or they don't think something's going to happen to them. Now, nobody walks outside and goes, I think I'm going to, get busted in the head today. No, but when you hang around certain people, like we were talking about the girl who was in the car with the two guys and she shot the guy in the head. If you're in a car with somebody who's waving around a gun willy-nilly, you need to get out of that car. Mm-hmm. Well, in a lot of these situations where these women are getting killed, let's take the woman from FAMU. I think she was 18. She was a cheerleader.
One moment. Hey, yeah. This is the link to his video.
Yeah.
Right here. All right, go ahead.
So the woman was, I don't know, like maybe 20, in between 18 and 20. She went to FAMU. And she was dealing with another woman who was her girlfriend. And the girlfriend was into some shady dealings. So the girlfriend pulls up in a car, old girl comes out of her dorms, jumps in the car, and they're talking about whatever. Next thing you know, a guy pulls up. He wants, whatever, and he shoots the college chick. She has nothing to do with anything, and she's the one that dies. Both of the other ones end up in jail for, of course, capital murder. And it's just like, if you're dealing with somebody that's shady, you need to start leaving those people alone. Because this whole thing of people getting backdoored is a real thing. It's real. So you're having a lot of women who don't think it can happen to them because they're females. We don't think it can happen to us, but the problem is that females has stripped femininity from us. Like what we looked at as feminine, they no longer present. They want to be strong, independent. They want to wear pants. They want to fight us. They want to tote guns. They want to talk crazy. They want to spit. They want to throw hands. Now Black men and or just men are looking at them like, in general, are looking at them like, you're just like me. I'm gonna fight you like me. I could kill you and don't think nothing of it. You're expendable.
Because you're no longer a female.
You're no longer a female. Only thing you have is a reproductive system that can have babies. Other than that, there is nothing about you that's a woman. Not the woman not our grandmama. You're not like them women. You don't want to cook. You don't want to clean. You want to go from guy to guy to guy. You want to do everything the guys do. This is one reason why you're having a lot of women that are being killed and nobody's thinking nothing of it. So we just had a recent case where there was two sisters. They were in a dorm, another college dorm. College isn't safe anymore, people. The one girl had a boyfriend. Boyfriend was another, rebel rouser who had a rap sheet. He had a rap sheet. He was in jail. They let him get out of jail. As soon as he gets out of jail, he goes to the dorm and he shoots both sisters. He kills both of them. And the people are like, why would you let this guy out of jail? And I'm looking at it like, why did you just go and gun down both of them? Like, one of them probably pissed you off, but you shot both of them. See, this is what I mean. There's no love anymore. They're just like, like, how do you get it in your head where you're going to go to a college dorm and just, boom, kill anybody in the room? That's what I'm saying. Like and when you start looking at all of these cases, a lot of them have the same type of energy to them. Female made a guy angry. That was it. Look at the
What about
recent. Go ahead. Go ahead. I'm listening.
Hey, I was going to say, you was talking about the one girl that hit somebody at the beginning. Towards the beginning, some girl hit somebody with a bottle or something.
I mean, there's so many cases.
A woman hit somebody with a bottle, then he hit her back, and she was surprised that she got hit back.
Yeah, a lot of the cases are like that. The women are they're surprised that men are punching them full in the face now, in the open. When they used to have this protective shield of she's a woman, don't hit her. That has gone the way of the dodo bird. You might still have a few pockets left, but the majority of men who are so angry with the Me Too movement and men losing their jobs and men losing their children, losing their houses, especially your babies. When you take my babies from me, I got nothing for you. And there are millions of men who went through this being abused by the court system and women using the court system. And every time this happens, you hear about it on the internet. And I'm like, this is a bad thing for you women. If something bad happens to a guy and then they run to the internet and or the news picks it up, it's a terrible thing for women.
I remember you was talking about the Tyrese case.
Yeah, the Tyrese case was a terrible case because he's high profile. And now he's used that like as a sample. Like, look what happened to Tyrese. Is this what you want to go through? Look at Brittany Rayner and how, that whole situation has gone with the basketball player. And, the way it looks just looks horrible. And she tried to explain it away, but it's just like, you can't trust none of the females. And the more turned up, turned out, the more explicit, the more foul mouth these women are. It's just the less men have love for them.
So what's going on now is men don't see a woman anymore, especially Afro men. Afro men definitely don't see a woman anymore in the sense that the woman is for them. They see an adversary. They see an adversary that they 100%. think is attractive enough to lay pipe in, but not one that could be trusted. And when this woman turns on them, these brothers now have no problem unaliving them because their humanity, their femininity is gone. They're a dude now. They're a ninja now. You know what I mean? And they call each other ninja. And I'm gonna tell you something. Have you ever noticed when you watch something, you can see the dude get upset at the woman? He'd be like, bruh. That should be a warning signs that there is no feminine left in women because they're not
even. Guy's name.
Huh?
When he's talking to you like a dude.
And dudes like, bruh to a woman.
Yeah.
All right, a female, because a real woman would be like, oh, wait a minute, do I look like a man?
Do I look like a man?
Yeah, that's what a real woman would do. But no, they're like, yeah, because we equal until they lay down them.
Yeah. So recently,
basically, there was another case like that I did a video about a couple years ago. This dude took this woman out on a date, right? He took her out on a date, and it was one of them things where he was just shelling out cash. They went to an expensive restaurant. They went to this, that, and the other. So what happened is they go to sleep, and the woman starts thinking, well, he didn't give me no cash money. They in a nice hotel. He splurged on her for her to enjoy the evening. Then he hit, and then he sleep, and she was thinking from wait, he didn't give me no cash. And then she was like, oh, thinking. Then she got so upset that she took the champagne bottle, hit him in his head while he was asleep, and he woke up swinging and beat the crap out of
I
her.
would have
There was
man.
blood everywhere, all over the sheets and stuff. And she would have gotten away with it, but there's the other BAW trait. She had to brag about it to her gay friend, who then was a mutual, somehow or another, the text messages got back to him, then to the police. And she was like, yeah, that's right. I hit that dude with a champagne bottle because he thought that he was just going to get something for free. You got to pay for my services. This is why dudes don't see any worth in the BAW anymore. Is because if you look at it, they always tell you you got to pay if you're an Afro man for what they will give and the wife that they will be for the other average other man other than somebody with melanated skin. And then they're the first ones to say that they're proud of their melanated skin, willing to give it away and willing to betray the men who has the seeds to that melanated skin.
And let's be clear, we're not talking about all black women.
Oh, we know that.
Yeah, we're
Because
talking about
the sisters are not included in this. We're
yeah,
talking about the BAW.
Yeah, the sisters are not included in this because some men are very sensitive and they're, oh, y'all hate all black women. It's just like, for one, I don't hate.
No, we don't give a.
Anyway,
they can leave this channel.
Yeah,
they can leave this channel.
No, nobody's doing it
but
here.
For
I'm just saying future reference. Yeah. Now I wanted to bring up an example which happened about 2 days ago, where a guy who is, I think he's almost 30 or so. His wife is his baby mama was like 23, so I think he's under 30. And they had a little boy, and he shot and killed her. He shot and killed her and left her right in front of the apartment, and then called the police. And then when he called the police, he shot at the police, and he let them know, I want y'all to kill me, but I want y'all to come and get my son first. He's like, I'm out of here. Like, I'm leaving. I'm leaving the planet. Come and kill me, but get my son first. He was like, she's dead. And the whole thing's on World Star Hip Hop. And when I was just looking at the finality in what this guy was saying, this guy had killing her on his mind a long time ago. Mm-hmm. He, when you say premeditated, this was premeditated. He knew he was going to end her, and the reason why he ended her is because she dragged him through the court system.
Yes.
He couldn't see his kid, and he had enough. He's like, I'm finished. And you know, there is a lot of women who like to drag men through the court system, and I'm telling you, when men have nowhere else to go, when you put men when you put men in a fight or flight situation, it's a wrap. There was recently a cop, female cop, you know, had a boyfriend, they had a child. She started putting him through things. He ended her. And these are black families. So I just, you know, wanted to bring up some of those situations because we're going to see a lot more.
Yep.
Yeah. We're going to see
a lot more. We were just talking about that.
Yeah, they have nowhere else to go. They have no other recourse.
We're going to see, like me, most of the brothers that's listening to this right now can get passports. We could leave the country. We can totally leave these women alone. It is clear, painfully clear. I mean, not only is it clear, but it is painfully clear that we have nothing but people that's going to betray us at the drop of the hat. And they think it's funny when they're doing it. And he turned the Nephilim in on itself, on themselves. The decisions that these women are making and who they decided to just mess over and who they decided to be with, they're going to pay for it. The good, nice guy that didn't want to be violent, that wanted to raise a legacy, they're going to pay for it. And so you see this now, a turn of events, and the very men that they're crying, oh, we're the most unprotected. No, the BAW has never been the most unprotected in the United States. I showed you in stat after stat. when doing the same crime, the person that gets the least amount of time is not the white woman, it's the black woman. And you have to think about it. Why is it that she gets the least amount of time if the court system can't stand Afro people? Well, if the court system can't stand Afro people, wouldn't the ones you let out sooner than later, the ones that are tearing the Afro community apart? Think about that for a minute. When Caucasian women do something, they get more time than any other group of women when they do the counting for the same crime. All right. The Afro man gets the most time of any other group of people, but the black woman gets the least time. I showed y'all that stat, and if you want to see it again, it's in the description box. All right. So they get the least amount of time, and you can just go look at it. Right. And so why would that happen? If somebody has been the most effective weapon against the melanated community, wouldn't you, as the court system, who wasn't there for fairness, for justice, and for any of that, but for the control of the of just control, wouldn't you want to keep that person out on the street? That's why they don't get that much time. They go back and they do it again gleefully. Well, like the Nephilim, you got the brothers that's just tired of it, too tired of it. And even their little girlfriends are setting them up. And so they're paying for all their wicked choices, all of their remember the first commandment given to them after the fall was that the man rules over you. Okay, that's it. He said the man rules over you when translated correctly, right? He said the man, he does rule over you. Understand this. And so they said, F that, we're independent. So we are going to go against the highest commands, against the commands of the Most High. Why? Because we female, simply because of that. And we got a coochie, and our coochie is more special than other people's. And you trying to tell dudes that? No, we ain't. That's why I came up with that question. Take sex, take money, and a degree off the table. What do they bring to the table? Well, remember, I came up with that question like a couple years ago, and all of a sudden it's becoming a popular question now. And they're telling it out of context. We want them to take the sex off the table. Why do you take sex off the table? Because all women can do that.
Well, most men don't care about their degree.
And most men don't care about the degree. The only people that care about the degree is the people that these women shouldn't be talking to. Why? Because most dudes that have their stuff together, that's looking for wife material, they're looking for a helpmeet. They ain't looking for a woman with a degree. And a lot of women done wasted a lot of their good years getting that degree. So they done priced themselves out of the market.
They should have been taught how to be wives starting at about 10 years old. They should have started, learning how to, serve and learning treat all of those. Yeah, and to treat a man. They should have practiced on their father, clean off it, the table, bring him his food, just stuff like that. Just little stuff in even boarding school in some cases. But they should have started learning at about 10 years old. You can't tell me one black family that started learning how to be a mother, a mother and a wife at 10 years old. Like their mother was telling them, this is how you be a wife. You can't tell me that one black family. I don't recall ever hearing that in any black family's house that I've been in. My mother taught me how to be a wife, like those words, wife. You don't hear it, and this is how you lose, because you should have started learning how to find a proper mate at a very young age. And I mean, when you hit 18, you should have been able to hit the ground running. You know exactly what you want. You know exactly who you don't want. You don't want to play in the streets. You don't want to waste your time. You know that your womb is highly, highly valuable at this young age, you got about shoot, from 18 to about maybe 27, and it's a wrap. You know what I'm saying? Then you get into geriatric pregnancies, and where your kid comes out looking funny and all that. So yeah.
And here's the other thing. See, because these are the same women that expect the men to die and sacrifice his life for them, but dudes ain't willing to do that. These dudes will unalive these women before they'll die for them. Why? Because they're not worth dying for in the eyes of most people. And the reason why they're not worth dying for, where these dudes will die for the Hispanic, they'll die protecting their other women, because these women were trained to serve men. And so the men will die for them women, because they know that if their child is going to be good, their legacy is going to move on, their stories are going to be told. When was the last time we was talking about the Hellfires that were named that because of the Germans, because they were the first Black infantry regiment that fought within the French ranks, who did not separate them from themselves, right? And they became recognized by the French. Guess who's talking about this a lot now? White people. White people are telling us our history because our mothers didn't have nothing good to say about fathers who sacrificed. There was a video that I put up of a dude whose son wanted equipment for football. So this dude went work double shift. He worked more days, right? He worked long and hard. And after he earned all the money, because that's what he does. He's a man, he's a provider. After he earned all that money, and they go and he's good, and they start winning games. The dude said, "Thanks, Mom," and didn't say nothing about the hard work that the father that put in. Didn't acknowledge his father at all. Why? Because that's what this society is trained to do.
Yeah, it's all nonsense. Did you see the recent? There is a recent war propaganda that's out, and they have China, and they show China and how they're preparing for war. They show Russia and how they're preparing for war. Then they showed America, and they showed this white chick, who's got this army outfit on. She goes, "Hi, my name is so-and-so, and I have 2 mothers."
Yeah, we're doomed.
This is war propaganda. Hi, my name is so-and-so, and I have 2 mothers. I was just in a state of shock, like, what does that have to do with us? And we're finished.
Hold on. Kim Jong-un had dudes with their shirts off breaking bricks with their hands. With their elbows.
I saw that.
Stuff. Yeah. So they're going around breaking bricks and stuff. China was like, we will have men teaching our boys and stuff, and they're going to learn to be men. And then that's the best we got is some female. I was like, our army is so effed up, it's ridiculous. We got the special forces, and that's it. But there's only a few of them. The rest of the army is effed up. If they need any support whatsoever, we are effed up as a military, because the people in the country, the politicians, are scamming and doing what the people want so that they can stay in office and make money off of the sorry people of the country. And I want you to understand what's really happening. So the politicians are giving the majority of the people, which is females, what they want. They wanted to join the army to get the career money, this, that, and the other, and a career retirement. They never intended to fight any wars on behalf of the United States. They didn't go there to die for anybody.
Exactly.
They went there to still have men die for them. But when war broke out, they got chapter 8. What's chapter 8? Pregnant. Chapter 8, right on out. All right. They got pregnant. Okay. Why? Because they're like, oh, there's a war. I didn't come here to die for anybody. And that's the very female thing to do. But it's the government that's stupid for changing all the rules to try to placate them. All right. And now they wanted to be infantry, right? So you're going to have them dudes that was breaking bricks with their head against our infantry women. Yeah, let's see how well that's going to work out.
Son, and straight up combat, China has 2 million screaming Chinese ready in straight up combat. They have the largest ground army that there is. No, no. These females are not. And did you see this? They tried to say that females went through, what was it, Ranger school?
Ranger school. Oh, I did a report on that. Do you know they scammed the part? All right, so this is what happened with the females that went through Ranger school. They failed miserably and they failed right away. Yeah. But they at least wanted to push through. Yeah, right? And so they went to the brass and said, these women will graduate. So they made all the rules, they changed all the rules, gave them all the chances. They actually gave them the cheat code to the test, so to speak. All right. And then they earned a Ranger patch, but they didn't earn the Ranger patch.
They didn't. I wouldn't even wonder if I was them.
And then and I have I wonder what's, I have the study report that they did for that. And y'all know the video I put up. Amazingly, that channel was taken down, though.
You know what? Here's the thing. If those women were smart, if they were smart, they would realize that they're being used in a very, very terrible way for one, war propaganda once again. And all of a sudden now we're going to Kiev or wherever that is. And we deployed how many soldiers over there? You got to realize if you have certain things that are on your shoulders, you know, everybody knows our American, some of our insignias. You don't want to run up on some guy, some Rusky, and he's looking at you like, oh, you're a Ranger, huh?
You're a Ranger? Well, okay, let's see what I'm Spetsnik.
Oh,
I'm from the Spetsnik force. We've
huh?
We've been looking to get at you, Rangers.
He's going to beat the tar out of you. He's going to make an example out of you because you're a Ranger. If you go back and look at any war where they have POWs, they try to get the ones that are the toughest, the ones that are the highest rank, and they try to humiliate them because it humiliates the people who are lower than them. Oh no, if I was them women, I would have been like, no, I'm good. I don't want to win. And I didn't get through it.
But they ain't good. See, here's the thing, and this is the problem with this. These women want to be men until they want the what they think is a privilege and a benefit of men, but they don't understand it, right? Because there's a lot of responsibility that comes with that authority that men have, like giving your lives. But they ain't ready to do that. But they're ready to rob that authority for no good reason at all. And then when it backfires and flies in their face, they like, oh, we're unprotected. We are the most unprotected. Well, if you stop slapping dudes in their face that have a short fuse, then maybe you wouldn't need protection.
Yeah, it's kind of get bad. And the thing about it is, like when I was in the Army, excuse me, when we were in the Army, and I went through basic training, there was only one thing that the women did better than the men: sit-ups.
Yep.
They kicked our ass in sit-ups. And I gave it to them. I was like, you girls, because they put us right together. They went and got one of their companies, and they went and got one of our companies, and they were just like, push-ups and sit-ups, go. Those girls wore us out. There's just something about the stomach that allows them to just keep going.
They have extra muscles because of the child rearing.
Yeah, there's something going on. But and then when it came to us, of course, our upper body strength, the girls couldn't handle us in push-ups. They, and they wasn't doing girl push-ups. They was doing regular push-ups, but they couldn't touch us when it comes to push-ups. We had one guy who did over 100. They just told him to stop. It was like crazy. Women are not as tough as men. And we just sent a bunch of them to war. It's gonna get bad. And here's the thing. If you look at how cyclical this is, we're going to war, right? We're about to spend all this money going to war, of course, that we don't have.
Okay, of course. We don't
Right.
have.
We don't got. I mean, we just had an F-35 drop in the ocean. I mean, who's paying for that guy? 35 million. There goes your lunch just fell to the bottom of the sea, in the South China Sea. At that, like, we're not going back for that. But when you look at all of these things that are happening, and you start to realize the majority of people who are going to war, of course, are men. Uh, you're taking more men, and you're killing off more men, and you have more women. I mean, in the United States alone, there are 161 million women, and there are 161 million men. There are 168 million women. That number is going to go like this in less than a year. There are going to be so many more women that there are to men that you're not going to have no. Listen, if you're not doubling up on a dude, tripling up on a dude, you're just not going to have a man.
Exactly.
And our system is not made for a bunch of women just to be alone. It's just not made that way. So, I mean, we're going to run into some real hard times in what is it, 2035? They say that, what is it, healthcare? What is not healthcare, but Social Security is going to run out in 2035. Listen,
you know what? Here's the thing, though.
Yeah.
This is the crooked government. Social Security should not run out, and it's not going to run out. Is because it's a separate thing that come out of people's checks. All right, it'll be dwindled, but the only way it'll run out is if you don't catch the people that's stealing it in the Congress.
Well, there's less and less people working. That's why.
Yeah, and more people get it. But with less, still it wouldn't work out. Is because with Social Security, in order to get Social Security, you have to put in the quarters, right? And so since everyone pays into it, everybody that's working pays into it. Yeah. Meaning that the people that stop working too soon, they won't get it, right? Or they'll get much less of it. So less of it. Yeah. And so Social Security was always solvent. The reason why there's a problem is because the people in Congress keep stealing the money. They take the money from out of the Social Security purse for their other pet projects and stuff like that. That's going to make them money on the back end. And so that's what's going on with Social Security. And that's one of the things that Trump saw too. He saw all that. They needed to get rid of that dude. They wanted to get rid of that dude so bad because he saw all that stuff and he called it out. And a lot of people started to understand, wait a minute, you mean that's how Social Security worked? So when Trump got in there, he started exposing a lot of things, right? And so, he started exposing a lot of things, and he started to get rid of those pedo rings. Like he started shutting down them pedo rings. And
he was really going after the Clintons. He was really going after the Clintons. Like he really wanted to put Hillary in jail. He was really about those 33,000 emails she got rid of. He was on her ass, like, you're gonna go to jail. Like he really was on her. I did like that about Trump, but the only problem is it's everybody else that the way they look at Trump, they think he is some grand dragon, and that's where the biggest problem.
But they elected the grand dragon, though.
Well, what I'm saying is,
you know what I'm saying?
The racist white people look at him as the grand dragon, and so yeah. And this is why there were a lot of black men who were hung while he was in office. Those cases have never been solved. You had 5 men who were hung in like 6 months.
Hey, can you see this comment, Tom?
Yeah. Your guest, please.
You and your guest, please correct me. But I've heard that in the next 40 to 50 years, America be predominantly brown-skinned and Spanish nation. Is that correct? Please elaborate. Yes, that is correct, which is why Joe Biden is trying to flood them in here now.
Well, tell them why. Tell them why, though.
Okay, because if Joe Biden could flood these the brown people in here now, he can try to get them to think that they're actually white people, because white people is not a race. White people is a declination that was given to certain people that where the Irish didn't have it at first, in order to make a separate group that can be together to combat the non quote unquote white people or the melanated. Now, here's the thing. The Caucasian are going extinct. That's like the Afro people, except that their things are twofold. One, they are not as prolific in childbearing and making as we are as melanated people. And two, the abortion policies that they made to eliminate us is now eliminating them. Even though the BAW is ahead of them at 37% of them murdering 37% of the aborted children, the Caucasian woman is right behind them at 36%. Everybody else is much lower. So they're having their babies, right? So the thing that they made to eliminate us, the eugenicists made to eliminate us, is also eliminating them. So now,
this is why they changed the abortion law.
That's why they're changing it. The other thing is, white is not a race. So Whoopi was right. I don't agree with
right.
Whoopi was right.
She was
and
right.
She was technically and she was right in every sense of the word. That group is not a race, it's more of a religion. So Hitler was after them because of their religion. So there was still a marginalized group, but because of their belief system. And this is how we know that. During the Red Scare in the 1950s, where they were going after anybody that might be considered Soviet. What's his name in Congress? He was a senator. And what happened is, in order to not be touched, the Jewish people changed their names. That's all they did. They changed their last name. All right. So instead of Blagojevich, it was Bubba. All right. Blago. All right. But they changed their last names and changed their names so that they wouldn't have Jewish sounding names. This is history. All right. This is history. The baseball players did it. The athletes did it. And a lot of people in Hollywood did it because McCarthy. Okay, because McCarthy was going after what they would call communists. He was seriously going after communists and the Jews at the time, back further. So he was going after communists. McCarthy was going after the Jews. Hitler was going after the Jews. And so basically what they did is they started changing their name, and that's all they had to do to blend in. Because when you look at a Jewish person, like let's take one of my favorite guys from the Daily Show, Jon Stewart, right? He's actually Jewish, but his name is Jon Stewart. If I didn't tell you just now he was Jewish, you would not have known he was Jewish. But if you watch the Daily Show, like I do, you would know.
Well, I want to speak on the question that he wanted us to elaborate on, as far as facts and numbers. Mm-hmm. So last time I checked, there were 245 million Caucasians in America. There were 40 million Black people. There were 2 million Indian. And there were somewhere around 60 million Hispanic people. And the running joke is that by 2030, the white people are going to be the minority because of how many Hispanics were coming into the country. So this is the reason why they're saying that it's going to be a brown nation simply because at the rate the Hispanics are coming into the country, not to mention the people from Haiti, some of those people did get through, even though a majority of them were turned away. That's going to actually happen again because of the economic system that, or the economic debt that Haiti is held by. The French, Haiti owes the French slavery money because the Haitians stopped slavery in Haiti, and the French showed up with their battleships and said, because you've done this, you owe us millions of dollars. They're still trying to pay off that debt, and because they're trying to pay off that debt, this is the reason why they're poor, and this is the reason why they're trying to come over here and get amnesty or whatever that is.
So, well, no, that's not why they're poor. They paid that debt off maybe like just before Clinton.
That's why they're poor, bro.
But well, that's part of why they're poor.
Yeah,
they paid they paid that debt off. All right, but the reason why they're still poor, because they paid that debt off, but they're still paying the French something. They paid off those billions of dollars for the slavery thing.
Right.
They just paid it off. When I say just about maybe 10, 20 years ago. But what happened is right after they paid that off, then the Clintons went down there and flooded their rice market with subsidized rice, and the European nations, along with the United States, went over there, and we started to seize up their natural resources and stuff like that, and we started to profit off of those, and we blocked them from being able to profit off of that,
right.
And we ruined their biggest crop, their biggest cash crop, which was rice, by subsidizing the rice farmers from Arkansas in Haiti, which destroyed them utterly. Okay, and so that's why they're really, really broke and poor. Because the French thing, it kept them bound. And then they paid them off, right? They shouldn't have paid them off, and we should have had we should have had Haiti's back, because it was Haiti that helped us with independence. Haiti helped us in a lot of wars in a lot of ways, either directly or indirectly. But they have the wrong color skin, so. Yeah. We used the help, but we weren't going to reward them for that.
We don't have no battleships over here. There's only so much.
You know what I mean?
I just wanted to bring that out. So you're going to see a lot of brown people, just like they're saying, in 40 years, even less than that. And another thing, when you were talking about the rate of birth, this all goes into the question he asked. When he was talking about the rate of birth, and you were saying white people don't have children at the same rate we do. Of course, you can look in Deuteronomy, and they talk a lot about that. Your children would be as many as the stars in the sky, and that type of thing. But right now in Russia, they are actually -2% when it comes to childbirth. Ooh. In Germany, they're actually paying couples to have children.
Yes, I knew about that.
Yeah, they're paying couples to have children. And so the European themselves, the Europeans are, for one, a woman tried to kidnap another woman's white son.
Yeah, they going mad.
Right daylight. Right daylight. She saw that little white baby. She saw it was a male. She tried to take the little boy and this is now my child. So it's very, very real. The black market for a white baby is off the chain. These people will do anything to get a healthy white American male. I mean, it's just off the chain.
And they want to raise that chart. So you got two black markets. The black market for Afro babies, they don't want to raise them. Those are stem cells, hearts, and stuff for old Caucasians and stuff. So we know they're harvesting. But for white people, they're not. in Europe especially, they are in decline. They are in serious decline. They are in serious decline. There is one country. Let me think about it.
Franklin talked about this.
There's a country in Europe that if it wasn't for immigrants, they would basically have. It might be Italy. It might be Italy that if it was the immigrant is their population. The immigrant population is their population. It might be. I'm thinking it's Italy. Italy that it's things have gotten so bad that the people that that's in the country, that work the country, are not indigenous to the country. They're all immigrants. They're immigrants. And so you got this thing right now where, hey, Europe is like, man, they are in serious decline. The US is in serious decline, and they realize it. That's why a lot of these politicians woke up and they're like, oh, we got to do something about this abortion thing. Because if this keep going this way, if this thing keeps going this way, right? That it's bad. It's just bad.
Yes, we're serious. They are actually stealing Caucasian babies. That story I was talking about is on the news. You can look that up. It's a white woman in her 30s, almost 40, saw another white woman in a supermarket. So the whole thing is on camera.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And she went up and she snatched that little boy and she was headed out the door. And simply because there are not enough white males. And they did this to themselves by all of the wars that they started.
Yeah.
I mean, all of the major wars were started by white people.
Right.
We can't get around that fact.
The weapons of mass destruction is only them. And then again, the abortion thing. All right. And they had spread the abortion thing around the world. And y'all seen that chart I put up that does the minute by minute number update? That thing is just running so fast of how many people are aborting babies and stuff. And it's just really ridiculous. All right. In this country, since 1973, it's like 65 million, right? All right. And that's not counting the states of New York, New Hampshire, California. That's not counting them states. Come on, California, Maryland, New York. That total does not include what they did over the past since 73, right? And when you look at that, millions and millions, if the Caucasian population was as small as the Afro population, they'd be just as done. They would be more done because they're not having the babies like we are.
They would be finished. If they stop the abortions and if they stop what Planned Parenthood has done to us and they stop trying to knock us off and, the police and all that other stuff, this would be a Black America within, I say 30 years. 30, 40 years, because their rate of decline is so steep right now. They went from 245 million to almost just 200 million. I mean, and this opioid thing is kicking their ass, and they're trying to say like, oh, everybody is, has the opioid problem. It's just like, nah, bro, we have the crack problem.
If you would have said some weed, I'd be like, that's the Afro problem. But opium,
opium is just like, what you mean, weed, white man? What you mean?
Yeah.
Black man,
Tell me
tell me
what
what you
you
mean.
mean.
Like, nah, bro. Like, you got some black people on it, but it's really killing y'all.
Right.
It's really getting into y'all ass.
And so basically, so when we look at all of this, right? So you got the opioid things, you got the wars and stuff like that. Everything that was intended to destroy us Afro people here in America is destroying them. Remember, all the stuff that is spread to the rest of the world was done and designed for us first. America, the eugenicists, America, the Bill Gateses, they're the ones that took the stuff to the world. They're the ones that trained Adolf. Remember, he got his education about all the stuff that he used in between 1939 to 44, and how he dealt with the people there. He learned that from the eugenicists here in the United States. And the eugenicists was teaching him techniques that they were using on us, as Afro people, to a smaller degree. This is the kind of stuff they don't want in true Afro history. This is why I'm against, what do they call it? Critical race theory, because critical race theory was for legal term. I'm about teaching real history. F the titles and stuff. Teach what really happened. Teach what really happened. With take everything off and just teach the truth. We're going to stop scapegoating groups and stuff like that. Teach the truth of what really happened. Who were Afro people before slavery?
Yeah,
that's
opioids
history.
Is destroying them. Yeah, that's true. Yes, opioids is destroying the. You know what? We can just look up the numbers.
Mm-hmm.
So let me.
Right.
I'll look it up. I'll look it up.
So basically, let's see.
I'm trying to see how many. I'm trying to see if the CDC will separate who is exactly dying of opioids.
Okay, hold on. Let me. I'll look too.
So I'm looking up something now, but okay. So death by race, ethnic. All right. So let me see if this is going to give me. I don't know what you're going to look at, but I'm going to look this link up and see if it'll give me a direct link to the. Okay. So this is coming from State Health Facts. All right. So this is also in 2019. So they obviously didn't do it for 2020, but I think 2020 was the worst year. Well, let's just say this. I don't think it's going downward. I think the opioid issue is still going up. So it's doing it by state. And it says white, non-Hispanics. It doesn't have a full, let me see if I'm going to go to the bottom.
I got something for the CDC too.
Okay,
I'm going to look through it and see if I could. I'll look for something postable, or I'll look for a graph.
All right. So what I have here is they did everything by state, but they don't have the final numbers written out. I don't think so. So it's broken down by state. It's also broken down by Black, non-Hispanic. Then they have Hispanic and then others. Because, of course, there's nobody else. There's just Black and white people and Hispanic. So, yeah.
Yeah, right.
Nobody else lives here. You know. Okay, so in the United States alone, white people in the United States, 35,977,000. This is in 2019. Black people, 7,464. Bro, no, it's killing your asses. It ain't killing us like it's killing you.
Right. Yeah. Okay, I got something.
Yeah, that stuff is kicking your ass. Okay, I don't want this. No.
Hold on. Let me go back and grab a. Okay, let me see. Let me show them.
It's a lot of stuff. You can't use any of that.
Oh, let me see what I did with it.
Maybe the stone.
That ain't what I meant to do. Ah, that's what I meant to do right there. Okay, hold on, folks, for a minute. I'm gonna get the image for you. Where he's seeing.
Well, yeah, mine is on. The link is kff.org. So it's.
I'm gonna just put the image in the thingamajig.
Okay, while you're doing that, I'm gonna speak on this right here, on a graph that I have. Assuming that all the numbers are pretty, close to being real numbers. Like I said, it's broken down by state. The highest state is Florida. Yeah, for white people, the highest state is Florida, 2,938. This is in 2019, so I'm sure that number is. Look, in Alaska, NSD.
All right, can you see the overall chart that I have up?
All right, hold on a second. Yes, I can.
Okay, and so so the white is in the gray, the Hispanic is in the green, and we're
Hispanics in the green.
And we're in the blue.
Right.
Okay, so in the urban areas, the dudes in the cities, we ain't effing with it. Okay. In the rural area, the Hispanics ain't messing with it, kind of, and in the suburban area. But in all these areas, the opioids is affecting the white, not Latino.
Yeah. It's really getting them. And one of the reasons here's one of the reasons why it's really affecting them, is because the majority of military people are white males.
Mm-hmm.
So all those men who fought in Vietnam, all those guys who fought in all those Iraqi wars, all those wars in the Middle East, even some of those, you still got people who are alive from 1948,
Mm-hmm.
Some of those guys are still alive. I mean, come on, they're old, but they're alive. So all of those guys who fought in all of those wars, they're all opioid is mixed in with other, drugs that are handed out through the VA,
right?
And through, of course, big pharma. So sometimes you might get a Darvocet or Percocet because of whatever it is that ails you, and it might have an opioid in it, and you're just like, I'm gonna pop, for back pain or knee pain or whatever it is. Boom, you take 5 or 10 of them for a surgery that you had. Not a big deal. The problem is the pain is still there after your dose is gone. After that 5 days is up, you still have that serious pain, and then that's when the addiction starts. It's just like, well, the pain ain't there anymore, but it made me feel so good to be that high, and then now you're going out and you're looking for it illegally. And over here in my neck of the woods, there's a certain part of town that you can go to where it is huge over there. And it's where the poor white people are.
Uh-huh. And let me say this. Remember Rush Limbaugh. Remember, opioids usually have to be prescribed too.
Usually you have to be prescribed, but they're on the streets big now.
Uh-huh. And it used to be, well, think about it. That we opened up the borders and everything is just coming across so easy now. And so, things were coming across, then the border was shut down for a little bit and then coming across again and stuff. And so back to this. And so when we look at the betrayal of the Afro community, because I say this, people say, and I put the chart up over and over again, they say, oh, black on black crime. Black on black crime isn't what damaged us, right? Because we can recover from that. We've always had sickness. You always had cancer and stuff. Those are some big things and we need to deal with them. but accidents kill more Afro people than black on black crime. Let me repeat that. Accidents kill more Afro people than black on black crime. So the thing is, with the abortion and with them taking us out through abortion, not only are you killing a black person, but you're preventing them from replacing black people who are already killed or died of something like cancer or say black on black crime or accidents, right? So now when people are dying, because the women are in a lot of these states, because the BAW are having more abortions than live births. All right, they're not only taking out the unaliving that baby, they're destroying and making the community to die off. Okay, and so and that's the problem. Um, uh, the, uh, all right, and so when we look at it, all right, when we look at the chart, all right, let me see, let me find the chart. That accidents, all right, that accidents kill more black people than accidents kill more black people than black on black crime. So
well, is that true?
yes.
Well, the statistic that you're looking at, what year is it in?
I'm gonna get it. Oh, this is this has always been going on. I save this chart every year. Hold on, let me see. I'm trying to pull it up here so that I can just not have to go dig all in my other charts. But it goes like this: HIV, black on black crime, accidents. Then you get into the big ones: um, hypertension, heart disease, and cancer. Okay, so those are the major, and then abortion, way up. And if you combine everything else, abortion kills more of us than all those things combined and almost doubled.
Yeah.
I actually did the math numbers before. I'm trying to find the charts. I usually look them up before this. Hold on. Hold on. I'm trying to think of how to ask the question. Let's see. I'm trying to ask the right question so that I can get the numbers of all the listed numbers. You know what I mean?
You're going on the CDC website?
No, it's not. It's not just on the CDC website because of the accidents and stuff. So the CDC will have the abortion.
The CDC would have accidents. They would have any cause of death.
Yeah, but I'm looking for the one that outlines them just for us in
the United States.
In the United States, with let's see the top 5 things. Yes, that's the way to ask.
Yeah,
that's the way to ask the question.
Or how many?
Well, I want a list of the top things that are killing black people.
You could also look on the World Health Organization. Sometimes they might have a chart you could use.
I'm gonna just look at whatchamacallit, black something.org.
Is that the thing that Kevin Samuels uses? He's always referring to blackstatistics.org.
Yeah, he got that from me.
Regardless, are we talking about the same thing?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh yeah, he didn't get it directly from me. He got it from the person that put him up, who got it from me. There's a long story behind that. Well, most of the people that watch this channel know, or have watched this for a while know. Oh, Black Demographics. That's what it's called.
Black Demographics.
Blackdemographics.org.
I'm starting to think, how many white people died through the pandemic?
I have that up. Well, I have what I have up is how many people died by country per million.
Well, it just makes me wonder because, black people are skeptical when it comes to needles. And, then of course there's this whole push, to get, how many shots are we on now? We're on.
I think 4 now.
Are we on Megatron yet? We're on. You need to get your Megatron shots.
It's blackdemographic.com, and let's see. And so what happened is in Africa. So what was going on is in Africa, they were having like 4 deaths per million in Tanzania, and all these people 4. All right, and so is all these African leaders that start being assassinated and disappearing and dying, it was just alarming, right? And then a lot of the leaders that was put in place after these leaders were unalived start pushing the juice, the Fauci juice.
The Fauci juice?
Yeah, the Fauci juice.
That evil mother.
Shut your mouth.
Ooh, that dude is evil.
Uh-huh. Okay, let me see. I'm gonna look up my charts that I have up in my computer. I have to go this way. But anyway, so what was going on is that a lot of us were unalived, right? A lot of us was unalived to push a narrative. All right, I'm gonna find out where this chart. Okay, I know how to find it. And so, and again, we're talking about something that was intended for us to begin with, right? So you black people go on down and get the juice. Come on, black people. It's going to affect you the most. Come on, black people, go get the juice. and it was a false narrative. All right, because when Africa start pointing out the real numbers, all of the African countries were doing way better than all of the European countries or the Western countries, let's say. You see what I mean?
You know, when China made this, China and Dr. Fauci, when they made this.
No, China didn't make it.
China, they made
China,
it in Wuhan.
They didn't make it. Let me explain.
Please explain.
It was made, okay, so they were working on it way back in 1996 into the 2000s. And then one of the regulating organizations told Fauci, you can't do this in the United States, wink, wink. You can't do it in the United States, but if you go somewhere else, it'd be out of our hands. So that's what made them take it over to China, less regulations, like the labor laws over there, right? And so by the time they took it over to China, this thing was already developed here at the University of, I'm not going to say it for right now. I put it in the video because I can't get the name, and I'm looking for something else right now.
Well,
but one of the universities, so it was already made, but it was sent over there to maintain and to continue to develop everything.
Okay, so there is two strands that the public knows about. There is the one strand that you come and you have to touch something. If you look on the back of a Lysol can, it says coronavirus on there, so it's always been around. But it wasn't airborne. What Dr. Fauci and the groupies did is they made it airborne.
Gain of function. That's called gain of function.
Yeah, gain of function. So was gain of function done in Wuhan?
Right.
So that's what I'm saying. They made it over there to where I was going with that is, I wonder if the Asians and Dr. Fauci and his wicked crew, I wonder if they knew that it would kill more white people than it would anyone else.
No, hell no, they wouldn't have released it.
Yeah, you see, that's what I'm saying. It's kind of like the joke's on you. Like, how could you not know that it was that there? If there's 245 million of you just in this spot alone, how could you not know that it was going to wipe you out more than it was going to wipe anybody else out? Like, why is this even? Why would you do this to yourself?
Okay, that I keep saying this that everything that they mean evil for us, somehow or another end up backfiring on them.
Well, yeah. Listen, if they had any smarts whatsoever, they would pull out of Kiev. They would get out of the Ukraine. And they would tell the Ukrainians, you are Russians. We can't tell the difference between you and Russia. So.
Oh, that's cool. But I'm going to say this.
Listen, you don't know.
Hold on. See, Biden can't do that because he know. And he can't say that he don't know. Because Ukraine be like, hey, your son and you, we got all these paper and documents here. Burisma. We could force the FBI to open up that laptop y'all got over there.
Listen, those are the same people.
Oh, yeah, we know that.
The people of Taiwan and the other Asians, they're all Asians to me.
Oh, but Biden better act like they different.
Trying to tell you,
because all that dirt they got on him over there. Why do you think everything is such a mess there? They got so much dirt on this dude. It's pathetic. Here's
the thing. What are they going to do when China decides to come on into India? China and India are standing 20 feet from each other watching a border that runs through the mountains. They got soldiers lined up and like 30 of them is already done. I mean, it's just gonna take one insult for that to jump up.
Yo, mama. What?
Yo, mama. If you look at that border, that mountain border, they're both standing there. They're standing there every day. They have soldiers standing there every day looking at each other like, there is literally a line drawn in the sand. Like, they're like, I dare you to come across this. Oh, no. So what are we going to do? Jumping? No. And then if they go in.
Remember our army versus theirs. Those are the two largest armies.
Russia.
No, India.
It's us. No, India's army is not as big as China's.
No, I said those are two largest armies.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and so that's a lot. There's a lot on. Shoot, that's a lot of men.
It's gonna take one crazy Asian dude. He's just that dude is gonna holler. He's gonna holler banzai, and he's going to. He's gonna leave. He's gonna because he's gonna realize he's going down in history. He's gonna be like, you know what? I'm just a grunt. Nobody knows my name. Not today, brother. I'm going down in history. Banzai! He's gonna run across that damn thing, that damn border. Shoot, he'll probably put his gun down and just run across the border like, yo, let's go. Let's do and punch somebody in the face and just start a whole brawl right there. Like everybody put their guns everybody put their guns down. Let's fight. And they just
hold on.
Let's fight. Let's go.
Look.
I
wouldn't put it. Look, but that's what I'm saying. All right, we went from relative peace to people getting mad. The media. There's a special place in hell reserved for American media.
The media.
Straight up. All right,
Fox News is terrible.
Yeah. Fox, CNN, most of the stuff that done, we knew who Fox was. That's why I don't get on them. We knew who they were.
Yeah, Fox
right?
Is terrible.
All right, we knew who Fox was, but Fox is not as terrible as CNN. We knew who MSNBC was. We knew who MSNBC was. The worst offender in the media is hands down CNN. It ain't even close.
What? Who? Tucker Carlson or something? One of those? Who you talking?
I know Tucker Carlson is on Fox. We're talking about Don Lemon, the whole CNN crew, and all the stuff that they have been in, and that they just basically flat out lied. All right. So MSNBC, they skew to the left. Fox skew to the right. All right. Fox stuff, they ain't for us. MSNBC ain't for us. CNN, we thought was just neutral, but no, they're not. All right. Nobody's neutral. All right. And so CNN turned out to be the biggest. All right. Fox News will put up some stats, and then you listen to what they have to say about it. You can disagree with how they read the stats, but you can read the stats for yourself, right? Because it's up there, right?
Right, Texas Marine.
And MSNBC used to be like that, and they stopped putting up facts, and but CNN was supposed to be, this is CNN, your real news, and they turned out to be less factual than everybody.
Reuters is better.
Anything outside the United States is better than what we got in the United States.
Reuters is better, and you can listen to that on NPR.
NPR. I stopped donating to NPR because they started getting. So everybody just got crazy. Everybody just got crazy liar. let's say with the about 4 years ago. They just turned into crazy liars 4 years
Read
ago.
his. Did you read his comment? That comment was up.
This one right here.
Nah, the guy was saying, he's saying you can't have sex or intercourse relations with someone who's heavily vaxxed. And, you know, I'm going to leave that to you because you're the lab tech. And there was a question towards me. I don't know what that was.
Oh, okay. Let me say this. It depends on it depends on the jab. Okay. And let me say this. And I'm going to I'm going to be honest with you. Because the people that got the PF and the M and the MOD, they got spiked stuff in them. We'll say stuff. This is not medical advice. You got to say that. Everybody usually know you're not giving medical advice, but they got spiked stuff in it. Even by the MOD corporation's own statements, it's spiked stuff. And they have more of it in them, and it expresses in their nose and everything to a greater degree than even when people have it. Plus, their body produce this thing, right? Which means that when you're around them and you have contact with them, you get what they making. If it because it's expressing the way they're doing.
Yeah. No, I'm listening to you and reading this comment.
Yeah, I know I am too. Because it's doing what it's doing. That remember, I always said that the big what did they say? Super gluten spread. All right. The super gluten shedding spread, the super shedding spread were the people that got the juice. They giving everybody the juice. The juice is loose with them, right? Oh, worst is BET. Well, that's because BET is targeted to us and we don't own it.
Sweet side stuff of the pandemic was used as a cover to stick trillions of dollars and are owned and operated by Junior Inc. It's rhetoric. You know more than I do. So, so is there any fact to you can't sleep with somebody who has the jab? And I mean,
I didn't say you can't, but I'm saying you run the risk of getting what they got.
Okay, so like a transmitted disease.
If you want to say that, of course, this is not a medical show, but if you want to say that, that's that's what it looks like to the lay people.
I'm asking your medical opinion.
But
your professional opinion.
as a lab tech, if somebody is presenting with something and it's spreadable and you get in contact with the thing in a way that it could spread to you, you can,
Well, I mean, somebody couldn't take the flu shot and then somebody else.
But see, this is different. We're talking about different technology, right? For something that the person is not going to be aware. All right, remember, what is the thing about the juice that they keep saying? Oh, it won't prevent a damn thing, but you won't know you're sick. You'll be sick. You'll be giving it to everybody, but you won't know it. Right? And do it for your family. Do it for your family. But put yourself in such a state that you can be sick and do it for your family so they won't know when they turn up sick like you are where it came from, because you'd be like, it's not me. I don't feel nothing. Right? So that was my thing about, let me say it like this. I have a problem with pain medicine. Like if I'm a sports athlete, I have a problem with you giving me pain medicine so that I don't feel the damage that I'm doing to my knee while I'm playing, so I can go out and play football some more.
Thank you, Ali.
You see what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I'm gonna put it like that. So I would never take anything where I'm not aware that of the injury that I'm doing to myself or to others. And so basically, the person with taking these juices can be giving everybody be passing the juice around like Hennessy.
Right.
All right. And they don't have the effects of feeling drunk, right? And yet, and they juice is getting everybody else drunk. And then people like, who spiked the alcohol? Who spiked the juice? Right?
Let me ask you. Go ahead. Go ahead.
And it be the person that got the juice to begin with, because they're presenting the juice. They're presenting the juice and they're spreading it.
Okay, let me ask you this. As someone who studied cellular structure, that would be you.
Mm-hmm.
On a cellular level, because they use clamp technology. Well, they started to use clamp technology. For those of you who don't know what clamp technology is, I'm sure he can explain it better than I can. But for what little I know, clamp technology is where they're taking the cellular wall and they're trying to clamp on proteins or whatever onto that cellular wall using something else. And what they used in clamp technology was HIV.
Yes.
Now, they started to use this in Australia. They used 200 people. Then they pulled the plug.
And all right, let's say they didn't use the whole HIV, the whole HIV. Let's call it HIV.
Yeah.
They didn't use the whole HIV, but they used some of the proteins from the HIV to make the juice.
Yeah.
All right. And they used the protein from the HIV because the HIV can replicate inside of your cell, because that's what HIV did.
Right.
It masked itself. It could get past the T cells.
Right. And get past your T cells. So, okay. Now, of course, HIV was a virus, so on and so forth. We already know if you got it, it's a good chance it ain't going nowhere. Why would they? Why? I know that they were just testing it out and trying to, why would they do that on 200 people? And then they tested the people and said the people don't have HIV. But it befuddled me, because I was like, how much HIV is HIV?
Oh, any little part of HIV is HIV if you take the functioning part of HIV and put it onto something else.
So HIV in its early stage is not showing up on a HIV test. So the amount of HIV they gave them is not showing up on a HIV test. And this is what they're trying to convince me of. However, it just left. It was like, well, wait a minute. If you gave me HIV, don't I have HIV? And then how much of the test is reading? Like, how is this test being allocated, and how much does the test read? Like, do you have to have 30% HIV for the test to say you're HIV positive?
Well, here's the thing. So during assays and stuff, there is a threshold. Let's say this. All right. So a woman come in for a pregnancy test, right? All right.
Right.
If you're positive, and this is, so we have two types in the lab. We have a qualitative and a quantitative. Right?
Yes.
Okay. So for the qualitative one, all you have to have is 50 micrograms of HCG, and that kit, all right, for that particular kit. And once it passes the 50 micrograms of HCG, that test kit can read that, right? And and if it reads that, that means something is, only one thing produces HCG. That means the sperm met the egg, right? And so when we're looking at these tests like this, there is a threshold of how much something is. It don't mean that before it hit 50 micrograms of HCG, that when that sperm hit that egg, it wasn't producing HCG already.
Right.
It's just that we had to wait for it to produce enough HCG to be read by our testes.
Got you. So now the case is, how pregnant is pregnant? You know what I'm saying?
That's what we got the quantitative tested for.
Okay, so how much? Okay, so the 200 people that were used in the sample that are walking around thinking they don't have HIV, is it possible?
They have HIV. If their body didn't get rid of HIV, they got HIV. It's because the doctors gave them HIV.
Okay,
all right. So if somebody gave you something,
hold on. Let me finish this question because I know you're about to go in deep. Okay, so no, I'm trying to keep up with you.
I know.
This is your neck of the woods. Okay, I am a student right now. So according to what you're saying, they have it, but it's not showing up on tests because there's not enough of it to show up on tests. Can and will the HIV that they have duplicate or replicate itself and or grow to a qualitative state to where it will show up on the test? And could it be detrimental to the person
that's what nobody knows, and they don't even know it. They doing stuff that they don't even know, because remember, this stuff is new, so nobody knows any of the long-term outcome of any of the mess that they did, and they're able to get it approved. You know why they're able to get all this stuff approved? Because everybody that works for the approving agencies now works for the companies making the stuff.
Why did they get rid of clamp technology?
Because what's an easier way to make money? They making all buku money off of this, and plus they're getting, there's a lot of things that I think that I can't really speak to. I'm wondering why you got nanotechnology in stuff. I'm wondering why you got the fetus, a white male fetus in stuff. All right, and it is in an injectable that you putting inside people. I'm wondering why all that is, right? Well, I can't answer that, but I'm saying it's nefarious.
Okay, it's definitely nefarious. Now, is nanotechnology in the booster shots and all this other stuff?
I can't say for the booster shots. We can say for the information we read off the other stuff.
Yeah. So the original shot that people got was turning them, it was changing their DNA. As a matter of fact, they were saying that these people are no longer human. So you had all kind of rashes. You had people, their toes were actually changing. You had people growing stuff. I mean, people were turning in to something else. I mean, speak to that.
Okay. Again, I really can't, because I don't know. See, here's the thing. So much. Let me say this.
Hyperbole.
Okay.
Yeah, hyperbole.
So this is my opinion. This is my opinion based on things that I've read and doctors that I've listened to, especially doctors that actually created some of the stuff, right? And just my own personal thoughts based on that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So I'm not a doctor, I'm not claiming to be, but from what I've seen and from what I know, and the fact that so much is hidden from us, right? What's turning out is all of the so-called conspiracy theories and us conspiracy theorists reading this document and everything were right about everything from the face shield that they got you covering your mouth and nose so that they could rob you of oxygen, and you agreed to let them rob you of oxygen. All right, because I told people that they're going to find out a way to steal air and water, and sure enough they did. But anyway, so with this and how they develop these things, right? How they develop these things, right? Um, I wouldn't be surprised. I'm gonna say it like this. I wouldn't be surprised if the way these things were designed, the things that were used to make it, like the stem cells. All right. What the property of stem cells is this: they kind of grow into whatever kind of organ you need it to grow into, generally speaking.
Exactly.
So why would you put it in a thing with nanotechnology in it? Why would the lady from Mod Corporation say that, oh, we're just putting in these things to redesign the human genome to protect them from something that's really only have a mortality rate of 0.0 something? No, not good enough,
You know
right?
what I think?
And so basically, when you look at stem cells,
Mm-hmm.
which are used to create what you need,
Mm-hmm.
latched onto nanotechnology, which was designed to receive a signal to do some whatever. I'm thinking, I'm smelling a whole bunch of fish, and it's not in a frying pan.
You know what? You know what I think? I think that the clinical trials that they had, the animal trials that they had, where none of the ferrets, I think none of the ferrets lived.
Right.
I think that we are the clinical trial.
Oh, yes,
I,
yes.
yeah.
So that's what the EUA means. We're the clinical trials. That's the end 2023.
Okay, let me finish this thought real quick because I'm going to listen to what you got to say. So I think that, like you said, we confirmed the humans are the clinical trial. And I think that every shot that comes out is it is a progression, and it's not necessarily a new trial, but I think that every shot that comes out, there's something different in it than it was in the last shot. And I think it's progressing whoever takes it into something. Like there's going to be a finished product.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So I think that all the research is coming from us. It's just like we're going to research. Yeah, that's what I think. Go.
Legos.
Correct.
That's what I think this is.
I think
Legos.
this is Legos.
And I think they couldn't give us the whole building. They couldn't give us the whole Lego building because we would be like, aha, I don't want a building.
I don't think they know what is going to happen.
This is what I think. I think they know, but they don't really know.
But they don't
and
really
whatever
know.
they thought they knew is going to backfire so badly, it's going to be ridiculous.
Well, it's already doing that. Because there's so many different samples. Every person is a different variable.
Yeah.
I mean, statistically, it's a nightmare. How old this person is, male or female, what region are they born, how much air they're taking in, how much this, how much that. It's statistically, it's a statistical nightmare.
Let me say this. I'm going to say this. When we were studying Beer's Law and all these things like this is a kind of research that we would never do on it to such a level where you have so many variables that cannot be measured in a controlled way.
In my study, I would. With my degree, I would. For those of you who don't know, I have a degree in health administration.
Mm-hmm.
So my degree, I would.
Yeah, but this is a lab thing.
Right, this is a lab thing. You wouldn't do it, but now we're coming to my neck of the woods.
Yeah, but this is a lab thing that we wouldn't take too many variables.
Yeah, it's too many variables.
Okay, and I'm not even sure everybody's getting the same amount of juice. You know what I mean? It's too many variables. I know there
What
was
can
one
you do?
amount of juice attended for black people and some, and lots that were attended for black people, and so different lots and stuff. Oh, there was a lot of trickery. Some people got saline and not the real jab. You see what I'm saying? And when I knew saline was in it, okay, I said that's the control group. You see what I mean? And so let me pause for a minute. Oh, if y'all haven't hit the thumbs up button, don't forget to do that. Because for a while we had a bunch of people on here, and I didn't want to stop to remind you. And my Cash App, if you want to help do what I do, really do for the community, my Cash App and my PayPal me, oh, there it is, will be in the description box.
How many
Okay,
people are
so,
on?
huh?
How many people
At
are
one
on?
time there was 40. Now there's 25.
Okay.
But anyway, it's the 25 are probably my regular peeps because we've been on
Yeah.
for. Okay. So anyway, so that's where we are at this thing, right? Oh, let me say this. And don't donate anything unless you take it yourself and family first. Y'all know my rule. You take it yourself, your family first, and if you have abundance, out of your abundance, you give. All right. You never give all you have or anything you have when you need to take care of your business first. All right. So now back to what I was saying. And so basically, all right. So basically, certain lots at certain places like Walgreens around were giving people saline, and they even call people, you got the saline, would you like the real thing?
Oh.
All right, yeah, and so
Oh.
I'm aware of that.
That's messed up.
Okay, I'm
So
aware
it
of
was
that.
a placebo.
It was the placebo. It was the control group.
That's messed up.
Okay, and so basically, with all the stuff that you got going on,
So could HIV causing
and this whole thing is going to be because how they're making their money. All right, as you know, J&J stopped producing in their factory overseas. Well, that's the only factory, but they stopped producing their stuff, right? And they'll be producing at a later date, but they're going to get into something more profitable, like a booster with the same kind of tech, right? And so they used the attenuated adeno. And I'll just say that, right? So theirs was the only real VAX, VAX. They had the only real VAX. All right. All the rest of them had the name VAX, but they're not that, right? By definition. So much so by definition that the government forces decided to change what the definition was for such a thing. All right.
Well, could you expound on what the end game is?
All right, this is what I think the end game is, to make somebody have to take your stuff over and over and over again. I'm thinking that J&J had to go because theirs was the real thing, and they were taken away from. They were creating an option that was something other than the people that got the nano stuff.
What do you think the end result of the sample will look like? So we're the samples, not me particularly, but those people who have taken. Okay,
I know what you're saying.
Hold on a second. Let me say this. I just looked on something on World Star Hip Hop. There's a comedian, white woman, right? She said, I've taken all the jabs, booster shots, yada, yada, yada. She was bragging about it, taking a vax. She's like, I've taken all this, that, and the third. She said, my bodily functions, are snap back to normal, this, that, and the third. And then she fainted and cracked her skull. She actually fell back and cracked her whole head and fainted. I don't know if she's alive or not, but she did all that bragging about all the stuff that she took. And it made me go, they probably knew that nearly 40-year-old woman, she looked like she was in her upper 30s. They probably have a chart saying there are so many people who are going to faint. There are so many people who are going to die.
Yes.
There are so many people who are going to have what they call adverse effects, you know, so on and so forth. But my question is just hyperbole. What do you think the end result sample wise?
Okay, I'm going to tell you what I think. And this comes from this. The Supreme Court ruling, all right, that said that they could not clone, they could not make people do something because the DNA is a natural thing, right? And you can't own DNA, right?
So,
No.
Yeah.
If I was a rabbit, my ears went up when the
Right.
CDC said you can get cross doses from different companies and it won't hurt anything. That's usually a lie straight out the thing. All right. You can get cross doses from each company who did things in a different way for the booster. Why would they say that? Because they need nanotech in everyone.
So they
All
can
right.
own them.
And Mr. JJ got a real thing and not the nano thing. And so when they say you can cross, maybe, and I'm gonna say it like this: when they say it's okay to cross contaminate, they said that to make sure that people go get boosted with the other part of the nano, which would cover for the first J Jones, J Jonah Jameson that
Right.
people got. The people that got the J Jonah and get Jameson kind of got almost close to the real thing without having all the nano and RNA, DNA changing stuff in it.
So you
Right?
think ownership is the end game?
Ownership is the end game, because when something replicates that was created by human beings, even partially into something that is naturally human, they get to own that thing.
Okay,
All right,
so
think about it. This is what medicines are.
no,
All right.
I wanted.
Go
I'm
ahead.
keeping up with you. Just got another question. So Azara was saying that they want to. I want to stay with your stream of thought you had. They want to put the RF ID microchips in us. Do you think that the nano stuff that they're doing now is a form of the RFID chip?
I'm thinking possible. I'm thinking it will make things work. If you see, you know what I mean?
You think there has to be a mechanical element in us in order for the RFID
for it to work.
in order for it to work.
Like before you can get cable, you see the cable that's on the TV, right? But what happened is they had to lay ground wires, whether it was fiber optics, whether it was a coaxial coil, or whether it was a tower. All right.
That makes sense.
Whether it was a tower they set up, something has to be able to transmit the electrical system to the thing, to your TV, for you to see the picture.
They're making you robots. They're making human robots. They're making, it has to be. I mean, that makes sense now. Because, I was just astounded by the change, the physical change that, especially white people. I didn't see any black people with this physical change, but you could look at pictures of all the rashes and people growing extra toes, and it was all white people. And I was like, why is this happening to white people? It's not happening to anyone else. And I started to think, well, maybe they're trying to give them the one thing that white people just can't get no matter what they do, and that's melanin. So I was thinking, yeah, so I was looking at it on a protective shield type of thing, so they can slow down the effect of cancer,
Right.
Melanoma cancer. So I was going that route. And when I started examining more, I'm just like, no, these people are physically changing into something. Their body is physically not theirs anymore. I mean, your DNA is no longer yours now.
And they have to think about this, and they have to keep going to get these. They're going to have to keep going to get these tests.
And do you think that the 5G has anything to do with this?
Me and a Navy brother was talking about that because my the Navy brother, he kind of was working on stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
And he said, and he has some kind of information, and we was looking at the because 5G, it really sucks for cell phones. Really, it doesn't make them that much faster or better than 4G.
I'm okay with a Walmart track.
But for holograms, you see what I mean? For holograms, 5G is excellent for holograms and 3D stuff. You see what I mean? So it might not be good for your for cell phones, all right, but it's good for other stuff that the cell phone may be able to access.
Have you ever watched a animation called Ghost in the Shell?
Yes, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, Ghost in the Shell. When they did the one where I think it was either Japan or China closed themselves off, and all the people, and they drugged all the people with something, and it turned the people into something else. And I just can't get that out of my head. This is the same damn thing that cartoon was talking about. It's the same thing. It's spooky. All right, well, I'm sleepy and I'm old, so I'm going to bed.
All right. All right, later, bro.
All right, it's good talking to you people. You guys have a good
Check out his
evening.
channel, Tone 202.
Tone 202, and be safe out there. Peace. Love you guys. Bye.
All right. And so with all those said, here's the thing. Here's the thing. With all of this stuff said, oh, what's up, Lord Vader? With all of this stuff said, nobody knows. They don't even know what's going on. Nobody knows what the outcome is going to be. All we can think about is what they are trying to do, right? Based on what the words that have come out of their mouth. Okay, based on the words that have come out of their mouth, we can only think about what they're trying to do. All right, and so and therein lies the problem. What are they trying to do? All right, and what we do know is these are a bunch of eugenicists that came up with this stuff. These are a bunch of evil people that came up with this stuff. They wanted things put in our children. They wanted our rights to our children taken away. And if it wasn't for the Second Amendment, this world would be effed by these people. Okay, I'm serious on this. This world would really be effed by these people. Okay, and so therein lies the problem. All right. So basically, I've have a lot of videos up, and then there's some videos I put up on Odyssey, Odyssee. All right, that really get into this in a way that I couldn't hear. Okay, so let me say, what's up, Mahir? What's up, Country Boy? Hey, Jamal, what's up? Let's see, because I missed a bunch of people. Ali Naya. Hey, Jamal, what's going down? Um, what's up, learner? Now, so with us, we know what to stay away from, but our issue is less than that because we kind of understand this thing here. And our issue is this. Here's the thing, it doesn't matter with them white, because those ethnic groups have access to each other, right? They're failing because they didn't have access to us. And I'll explain that in a minute. The first thing, we are dominant. The Afro male is dominant. All right. We are the most genetically dominant on the face of the planet. If you have a recessive peacock, no one will mate with the recessive peacock because their recessive is white. It shouldn't be have all white feathers. That would get them killed in whatever, right? And so the peacocks will not mate with that because they're not going to go kill it, but they just won't mate with it. And so what happened is the powers that be has convinced the BAW to not mate with the dominant is because, again, this is I'm with Francis Cress Welsing, but I think that when you're talking about supremacy, they not only want to survive, but they want to run everybody. Okay, and it's deeper than survival. They want to run everybody. Remember, mass genocide. All right, these people calling themselves YT, mass genocide, the creators of it. All right, and so, hey, what's up, Rod? All right, and so this is the issue here. This is the issue. What should happen is there should have been a desire to get with the there should have been a desire to get with the dominant, like they do in the animal kingdom, but they didn't want to do that. We are dominant, big D, because we were designed for the soil and the sun. All right. Now we got the BAW who has betrayed us for the people that created this very thing we were just talking about and brought this pestilence on the world. All right. And so we ourselves must look to escape this some way. All right. We have to look to escape this some way. Everything that's going on is being levied by racism. All right. It has been levied by racism and money. All these mandates were targeted at people based on race and money. In places where it doesn't make any sense, trust me, it's racism. They know that the people that weathered this storm the best were the continent of Africa, and the people that trusted these criminals the least were the Afro people in America, because we know better. The thing is, we got a lot of other people, Caucasian people, that are seeing the light of what the country has they're coming to some truth. All right. And they are standing up to this country, especially for its heinous treatment of Afro people, all the way up to this day. Nothing disappeared. This country has not become a righteous country to Afro people all the way up to this day. Period. All right. And so, hey, what's up, Hank? And who else was on here? Oh, that's Country Boy. Hey, what's up, Tavalu Panapa? All right. And so that's where we are. And so basically, um, what's happening is we got to steer clear of this and all of their agents. And their biggest agent right now is the BAW. This is the image of the BAW that we must get to know right here. All right. This is the image of the BAW, the masculine traits, and this, that, and the other. One of the things is that a lot of these people are trying to keep us on the plantation. The passport bros, the brothers that say get a passport and go, or the brothers that says that we got to leave alone the people that's been betraying us the most. All right. This has been about money and racism. Let's not get it twisted. All right. Let's not get it twisted. We are always the target that they're trying to destroy. And then when we wise up and be like, oh, no, y'all been trying to destroy us. We ain't taking nothing that you say should go to us first. All right. And so this has been the issue. Oh, yep. Jim Jones. Jim Jones. All right. Nobody's looking at the data because nobody likes what the data says. So they're not looking at it. All right. And so what happens is we're going to see who wakes up and when. Okay, there's a few of them. Are you talking about a SED rate? It's not for your blood coagulates all the time. You know, if there's a test for the blood coagulation. Okay, the SED rate we do, and we don't want the blood to coagulate, but we look at how long it takes for the plasma to separate from the red cells. What do you mean by take for the blood to coagulate? Oh, you're talking about a PTT test. Okay, you're talking in coag. You're talking about a PT test and a PTT test, a prothrombin time. Okay, you're talking about a PT and a PTT test. There's another one we do too. That has to be the one you're talking about. Let me know if that's the one you're talking about. But I think it is. It is a PT and a PTT test. So the PT test measure how quick um, the blood clot, and like when people take Coumadin or heparin, we'll give them the PTT test to make sure that it's being monitored right. You see what I'm saying? Y'all know I've been out of the lab for a couple of years now. Mortality rates without proper treatment. According to epidemiology, some might only live 2 years. Oh yeah, we have to put a lot of the truth on BitChute too, so you can go there for stuff too. All right, and here's the thing: the end game is going to be different for a lot of people that think they kind of understand what it is, and people really aren't going to understand. And you're right about the RFID. You need to put stuff in place so that it would work. Okay, let's see. Um, Azariah Yahawada. What's up, bro? All right. What's up, Focus 21? I'm just going through Alinaya, just catching people on here. What's up, Kelly Gill? All right. And so get on to all of these. And so that's basically it, right? And here's the thing: what people don't know is after the Nuremberg trials, most of the people that were judged with the officers were the doctors. I want y'all to understand that. A lot of the wickedness that went on during, hey, what's up, brother? Yeah, it's all well. Back in the States, okay, a lot of the stuff that's been going on during the Nuremberg trials, right? They they not only judged the soldiers, right? They not only judged the officers, but they judged the doctors. All right, because the doctors carried things out on the thing. So let me say this: for you brothers, for any brother that would like to join, here's the link, is right down there. I just put it in here. And Joseph Isaiah Benjamin, he does a podcast on Facebook. And hey, brother Joseph, click the link real quick and pop in, so that he does a podcast on Facebook. He's been around a minute too. All right, he does a podcast on Facebook. But when we look at all of these, right? Again, we're looking at too big of a picture, and we first got to worry about the people we got around us right now. Because what these people do as an organization, as a government. All right, we can kind of see that coming. But just how do you think they would be able to control the people to get them to do what they want them to do? They have to use other people. So now look around you and see who's been righteous to you and who would sell you out for a check, even if it's a little one. Look around you. That's why I keep telling brothers we got to leave these BWs alone. All right. Hey, brother Joseph, you could pop on if you would like. I just sent the link here. Hold on. Let me do this real quick. All right, so brothers, you got to really beware of what's really been going on. All right, see, we are not aware, and one of the things you got to be aware of is who your adversary is. Hey, what's up, Tricky Way? All right. And so basically, we're not talking about who the prize is or this right now, because you got to look at who your adversary is. Oh, this is much deeper than that. And here's the thing. It says, Son of Man in Ezekiel, judge Aholah and Aholibah. All right. Son of Man, we got to judge them. Because if we don't, we're done. We are toast. And y'all have to understand that. If we don't learn to judge the BAW by her action, all right. Hey, brother Joseph, I sent the link to your Facebook. Joseph, I sent the link to your Facebook. If you want to join me in this panel real quick so that you could talk about your podcast. Uh-huh. So let's say this. Hey, what's up, LNPRS? Operation Focus 21, Operation Paperclip. Yes. Oh, you don't have to stay long. Just talk about your stuff. But anyway, and so in all of this stuff, right? In all of this stuff. And for anybody else that want to pop on before we close out, you can. So in all of this stuff, we got to be aware, and we got to really be aware that ain't for us. All right. This ain't for us. We really got to be aware. It's not for us. It's not for us because they lied on us, told us we weren't SH. told our children, oh, your daddy don't care about it. That's only 16%, but the majority of Afro men turns out more than the Caucasian and Hispanic men were trying to be in the lives of their children. Turned out that the children were better off with the fathers. Turned out that, yeah, they look good and all of that, but after all the lies and stuff that they tell, that they were the worst things for our children. 71% of the greater than 71% of the Afro children whose lives were taken by the mother, and who goes through abuse were abused by the mother. Understanding the science or breaking the science. This comes from breakingthescience.org. See, so they go get tatted up and stuff like that and say, we offered you this, a worn out body, but we give nothing in return. You see what I mean? Nothing in return. Hold on for a second. See who popped up here. Let's see. Go ahead, brother. Talk about your show.
First off, brother, peace and blessings be upon you, and thank you so much again for having me to come on your platform, man. Um, and greetings and salutations to the rest of your viewers and your followers. For those of you who do not know me, I go by my Hebrew Israelite name, Joseph Isaiah Benjamin. And I have actually two podcasts. The first one is Joseph's 2 Cents that deals
Oh
with the
yeah.
yes,
Do you
sir.
still do much with that?
I decided to take a break from that for a little while because I wanted to focus more on the Bible. Um,
Uh-huh.
the Joseph's 2 Cents podcast is one that deals with current events, and it is more secularized, but I tried to interject or
Okay.
incorporate Bible scripture. The second podcast that I started, which is the House of Bread Ministry podcast, that deals solely with me delivering sermons and dealing with the spiritual aspect of things, interjecting current events. And I'm looking to expand my platforms as well, going more so on YouTube and other platforms that I can find.
Okay. So when are you going to come on YouTube?
Um, that I really don't know as of yet. What I try to plan on doing is possibly within the next few weeks, I'm going to be on YouTube a lot more because I believe Facebook has been messing with my pages. At one point, I had about 2 or 3 pages, but both of them were hacked. So the Joseph Isaiah Benjamin page, my current page on Facebook, is the one that I'm operating on now. But look for me to be on YouTube a little bit more, possibly beginning next month.
Oh, okay.
If
All right.
everything goes according to plan, I'll be on next month.
Okay. See, I knew him way back with Joseph 2 Cents, way back. I know this other channel because I mostly when I go listen to him, especially like when I'm over in Brazil, it's on the Joseph, the one with the yellow background and the microphone. Which one is that?
Yes, yes, that
Yeah.
that's the page that I have now.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah. So and it's sad that it's sad, but remember, this is not our world.
No, it's not.
This is not our world. All right. Which means that we don't have to operate within this world. All right. And that's the thing. We can create our own world and stay in that world. All right.
That's true.
We don't have to operate by their raw laws and rules. If we can stop allowing the BW to put us in their world, we'd be all right. See, a lot of these dudes, this is the image of the BW. This isn't the image that they made for her. This is the image she made for herself, saying that she's the man now. So she told Black to, suck her D stuff tool she don't have. But she said that like a ninja, though.
That's sad.
You see what I mean? Because, like in Genesis, I told you in Hebrew what it really meant. These women want our position. It says your desire should read like this, but people don't know because, like I showed you, that one word was taken out of context or mistranslated either intentionally or nothing. And it does not say your desire should be for your husband. The word that they translated to husband should have been the man. So your desire should be for the man. Hence, she thinks she has a D. Right?
Mm-hmm.
But let me remind you, he does rule over you. But she thinks she has a D. You see? Because why? Her desire, the desire of the BAW is for the position of the Afro man. And so as such, she will betray, deceive, be traitorous, and any other thing she can to try to put us under is because the only way for her to rise over us is to have her and other people put us down so low that she can get to rise over us.
Right.
Y'all better be careful. And so that's why a lot of brothers getting these passports and leaving, right? Or we're not dealing with them at all. And we don't have to. Why? Because we are the prize. When I said the video that we make the seeds, we make the seeds. When I made that video, getting y'all to think that we make seeds, right? We are the seed maker. That's what makes us the catch. All right. And I'm glad a lot of y'all start looking at that concept and thinking of your children as seeds, thinking of potential children as coming from your seeds. See, this is important. And so they try to corrupt the seed. If you can corrupt the seed, you can try to destroy the community that way.
Right.
That's why they give your seed to the woman to corrupt it. All the stats that I put up about how good of a job Afro man do, right? How the children do so much better. They know these stats. So why do they do these things? Why do they take them away from the father? Because they're not interested in the best interest of the children.
Right.
They're going to give them to somebody that would destroy them the first time she get angry.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
All right. And there it is. Ezekiel says we are the son of man. So we're supposed to judge. All this don't judge. They got us judging ain't in the Bible when they got a whole book called the Judges. Book of Judges. It's a whole book on judging. Or the judgers that judged, called judges. But you want to say judging ain't in the Bible. It says don't judge people by a standard if you're not meeting the standard that you're judging them by. But again, take it out of context. You try to say it means don't judge. That's why we don't listen to them. We lead them, right? We listen to them if they're with us because we need to know what's wrong in case we need to fix it. But we don't get our guidance from them, period, because we're not supposed to. We're men of the Most High. What's up, young boy 24? We're men of the Most High. We don't get our guidance from women. Now, the simps and all the rest of them, to get some, Let them get their guidance from them. But nope, not us. Go ahead. Did you have anything else to add, Brother Joseph? Floor is yours.
No. I just wanted to once again thank you for opening your platform and allowing me to share with you and your viewers about my platform as well. Once again, I have two podcasts. The first one that brother Jameson is more familiar with, brother Nabi is familiar with, is Joseph's Two Cents. And the second one, that is the newer one, is the House of Bread Ministries podcast. I thought of that because there was a burning in my heart because I hadn't preached a Christian sermon in over 7 years. So now I decided to come back into the ministry, not as a Christian, not as a Christian at all, but more so or less as a Hebrew Israelite to proclaim the real truth. And ever since I departed the Christian church, the Bible has made more sense to me than ever before. So,
That's ain't that
so
sad?
with so so with that said, with my new acquired knowledge and belief and convictions, I want to be able to share it with all of those who will listen, especially our young people, because I believe our young people, uh, at least they will listen. The majority of adults these days, they are stuck on stupid and they're stuck in their ways. And I'm also addressing like-minded brothers and sisters as well as our young people as well. So feel free, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, to subscribe to my channel on YouTube, which is my name, Joseph Isaiah Benjamin. And if you're on Facebook, send me a friend request, the same name as on YouTube, Joseph Isaiah Benjamin. I'll be happy to accept your request. Peace, blessings, peace, power, and blessings be upon you. And Brother Nabi, I got to bring you back on the podcast as a guest as well, man. I really do.
Man, yeah, and whenever I have time or we click in the yeah, I mean you see me pop up every once in a while and stuff. So whenever I have time, yeah, that'll work. So just let me know, or just let me know when you want to do one, because
All
it's
right.
easier here in you. It's easier here in the United States because I'm kind of on your time zone.
Okay. I'll get with you when I have some time, and I'll definitely will let you know.
Okay, yeah, it's no problem, brother. All right, anybody else have anything?
Have a good night, you guys. Peace and blessings.
Peace, bruh. Anybody else have anything? If not, I'm gonna be busting the move, and it's time to shut her down. All right. One of the things we got to remember is that a lot of people will try to con you in to making a friend of an enemy, someone who's shown you that all they're going to be to you as a good Afro man is an enemy. They're going to love the thugs, the felons, of the women, and the system more than you. We got to watch out for that. All right. So, with that said, don't forget, hit that like button. For those of you who are new, who haven't subscribed, please subscribe to the channel for as long as it's lasting. And I'll try to get back with another one of these probably day after tomorrow. Okay. So, with that said, I'm out. Peace, love, and soul. And thank you all for stopping by. Peace.